to capture this because. So what can I say, Dr. Saborni? Big congratulations from the bottom of my heart. I've known you for more than about 2 years. I've seen the what you've done. I've seen that the hard. You've already got a huge practice, and in a distant place where you have to travel. You travel and you stay there for a few days. You have to manage so many patients, and then you've got your family life. But in spite of that, most people would not have the energy to do what you did. But I think with your journey, a lot of people will get, inspiration that this is possible. Sometimes, people the first time they may not get their postgraduate. They might be different. I struggled myself. I did not get my MD, DM first, MD or DCH at the first time. But again, it's not my story. Story is yours. So, Dr. Saborni, congratulations. How are you feeling
Thank you,
today?
sir.
How are you feeling? Tell me.
I
What's
actually feel very happy and relaxed.
really relaxed, isn't it? Such a big load off your shoulders,
Yes,
yeah? Such a big
yes, sir.
load. So when did you come to know of it? Just you said you were ringing me, is it? So last night was it? You came to know of it, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So just give us a short background because people want to know, who we are. Because people from different backgrounds at different stages in their career, they appear for this exam. Some people think, oh, we are too early. Some people say, oh, I'm too late. But a story like your people will understand that it is possible at different stages. So just give us a very brief idea how long you've been practicing and when you pass. Just people will know where you are based, yeah, and your full name as well. Yeah, please.
Yes, I'm Dr. Saborni Mondol. Actually, I stay at Arambagh. That is my native town. I passed MBBS in 1995 from Archigor Medical College. And then I completed DCH in 2001 from CSS, in Chittaranjan Sishu Sadhu. And after that, I was practicing as a consultant pediatrician in my native town for almost 22 years.
Long time.
Uh,
Okay.
then, after a long gap of almost 16 years, I have started my journey for the
Okay.
MRCPCH since 2018. Actually,
2018.
I got registered at the end of 2017, but I started my preparation from 2018.
So just tell us how you came to know about MRCPCH. How it drew your attention? What was it? Did you see someone who did MRCPCH in front of you, or what was it? Because you were busy in a practice, and that also your native place is quite far from Calcutta. I know your home is in Calcutta. And you have to travel,
Yeah,
you said once or twice a week. So how did it come to your mind? Yeah.
actually, I got the information from the website. I actually got your phone number from the website,
Okay.
and yeah, I immediately I was interested.
Okay.
It was my dream actually, MSCPCH degree, highly prestigious degree.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got your number, I personally called you over
Okay.
phone.
So you
After
just
that, you
searched on,
guided
oh yeah, yeah, you searched on the internet and you somehow managed to come across a website. Yeah. Is that okay?
me.
So that's very nice to know. So now, obviously with your background, because you're in a very busy practice, I know you see lots of patients every day. Yeah. So how this is for people specifically for there are a lot of doctors who are in their health service who are doing general practice, in the mid career right now, have got family to manage. So if it is for those people, because they will also know it is possible. Tell me how you managed. Tell me how was your routine like, and how did you manage your time?
Yeah, it was
Because
very difficult
it's
for
not that you took a holiday, is it? You were seeing patients. So how did you manage it all this?
because Arambagh is actually a Mofussil town, so I had to see lots of patient, and also I had admit the patients at local nursing home. So actually, it was a really busy schedule. So it was very difficult to manage time for
So when did you
studying.
study for even for the theory? Where was it early morning, late night, when you went back home, or how was it?
And I yes, actually used to study in the evening
Okay,
after ending my whole day's work.
okay,
Uh,
in the
just
evenings.
2 to 3 hours I could manage.
So that's a lot time, 2 to 3 hours, after doing your busy practice is, I think, quite a lot, more than most people would imagine. Okay. Now you tell me about what are the challenges you faced in your journey, because when you're doing the clinicals, theory, I don't know if you had much of struggle. I think you did with us the theory part as well, the part one, as you said. Yeah. But which was the most struggle? Was it clinical or was it the Dr. Ashish has joined as well? Okay, I'll talk to you in a few minutes, Dr. Ashish. That's good to have you as well. Where was the struggle for you mainly? Was it theory or the clinicals or both?
And definitely clinical because the exam system is totally new to me because in Indian system whether it is a DCH exam or a post-graduation MD exam, the system was totally different.
Okay,
To get accustomed with the new system, to a time-bound system particularly, that was very much challenging, I think.
absolutely.
And that is the one thing. And in my case, particularly, I'm in mid-career, so another challenge was to maintain the to continue the study at the same time to maintain the family life and my profession.
That is a very big challenge which very few people can do. It requires a lot of guts and a lot of perseverance. But I guess you knew that it might take longer time, because you have to manage both. So you can't expect to do everything within 1 year. I guess that
Yes.
was something you had to understand. And you had nothing to
Yes.
lose because you're already established in your practice. You were doing well financially. There was no struggle, but you had the dream in front of you. And the way I understand, you knew that it might take a bit longer, but at least it is as long as you're progressing in your journey. Am I right? Is that something which
Yes.
kept you on and
Yes.
kept you on the journey? So that's why very helpful. Okay. Now, as long as now I know this journey must have been tough, and that's why I'm again asking about the time management part. So, were you waking up early in the morning, or what time were you going to sleep? And that's what I'm very curious. Because in theory
Yeah.
also you have to study, in clinical also you have to do practice. So, what time will you go to
Actually,
bed?
after studying the MRCPCH journey, I went to bed around 1:30, 2 o'clock, because
Two.
whole day I didn't get time, that I
Yeah.
didn't manage
So,
to
when
find.
did you come back from your practice? If I just have ideal day, what time would you be back to home after finishing your clinic
Uh,
and all that?
yeah, after ending my clinic and then after getting the ward round
What round? Yeah. So, what time would you finish? Come back home?
around nine,
So
around
nine.
9.
So
Yeah,
then you would have your dinner around, so maybe around 10,
yeah, yeah.
10:30 you will start. Then you study
Normally
till
after
1 o'clock.
taking dinner, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
What again in the
Just
mornings? Mornings, when will you the
manage two
clinic
to three
start
hours.
again? 9 o'clock
In the
again?
morning, actually, no, no, no. I just wake up around 7 o'clock because I had to attend the periphery chambers,
So your chambers
and
start
after
from
that,
7
from
in the morning. 7 in the morning.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
normal train
Most
in
of
the
us wake up
coastal
at
town
that
is
time.
at
Okay.
yeah, in the coastal town actually you have to go to the periphery,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
15 to 20 kilometers from main
Okay.
town. Otherwise, you can get the
Okay, okay.
patient.
So you
So
have to
in the
travel then.
early morning, I went to the periphery and coming back, just I'll keep practicing in my uh, own house. And at the end of the day, in the evening after ending my ward round, I just taking the dinner. I will manage 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
It was really
So
challenging.
challenging, yeah, because that means you're going out by 6:30 or something. 7 o'clock you're reaching the clinic. So that means you're leaving home by 6, I think, around 6 or something, 6:30. So
Yeah, yeah.
your whole day you're doing a clinic. I think your clinic finishing by 6:30, if I'm right. And then you went for the ward rounds because you have a patient admitted.
Yeah.
Then you reached home at 9:30, and then you had dinner, and then from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. Hats off to you, Shaboni. It shows how much determination you have. Don't feel shy, Shaboni, because a lot of us have to learn from you. Okay, that you did have to do it because you were quite having a very successful practice. I know that you're very well established, but it just shows. So, what was your determination? Why do you think MRCPCH was important at that point? A lot of people would have thought, "Oh, I'm doing well. It's time for me to relax. I'm very well in my practice." What was the burning desire? Why you wanted to do this?
Actually, just to achieve I love working with my children in my profession. So just to achieve the new knowledge and new skill and new
Okay,
experience in the
okay,
field of clinical practice, that was the main inspiration. At
okay.
the same time, just to get confidence, to increase my self-confidence in the clinical practice and to get respect from my fellow doctor colleagues.
Absolutely.
That are the other things which inspired me to start my journey.
Okay. So you obviously you had no plans for going abroad or things like that, UK and all that. That was
Uh,
not your plan. So what I understand, and it is interesting to know that is in spite of already having a well-established practice, you're already respected by your patients. You're very much in demand, which not all of us are successful in that level. Ultimately, one of the main successes for a lot of us is clinical practice. How successful you are in clinical practice, which you already achieved. I'm sure a lot of your colleagues respect you for that. But in spite of that, and this is the real thing I must admire about you, and also another doctor who's waiting, Dr. Ashish Bhakta as well, I respect, is that the one of the only reasons was that you wanted to make sure that your clinical skills are even better. Am I right? That you are at the top of your game, that you are in a degree, which is a very well degree, and obviously you get some sort of, obviously some sort of validation, some respect from your colleagues as well, because once that degree has a certain stamp, isn't it? And you feel good that yes,
Yes,
I have met a certain
yes,
standard. Am I right? Yeah, or would you put it
yes,
differently? Is
yes.
that right? So I'm so grateful. And do you think it has changed your practice actually? When you are now practicing, see now I know in your practice you would have been seeing so many patients a day, and a lot of us would say, "Are these some, in clinical what you're learning and all you cannot put in practice. You can see so many patients, and these all things are only for UK patients." But in any small way, do you think all your knowledge which you have gained from MRCPCH, are you able to find that is it making it any difference in your when you approach to your patients, in your management,
But
in the way you're talking?
definitely, confidence will be high up after getting the course.
The confidence,
But
okay?
certain things uh, definitely will change my approach, like communication skill, empathy,
Communications,
yeah,
empathy,
and verbal and listening skill,
listening skill,
and
yeah.
most important is hand washing and taking permission. All these things we are not normally used to practice in our setup. Uh,
Yes.
that is very important, and that I personally think that will change my approach in the
Okay.
future practice.
So do you think actually when you're practicing now, and obviously your practice has changed, your guess, or even your management approach, because the MRC which is very practical oriented, isn't it? When the management
Yes,
investigation only does important investigation, not unnecessary costly investigation, very step by step, isn't it? Which we have learned.
yes,
And from our primary practices, that is what is required. We are not a rich country. We don't have, always money to do unnecessary tests or very complicated tests. But I think one of the things in MRC research is starts with very basic tests, step by step, it very logically goes to the more difficult test, and and also as you said, empathy and asking permission and way you listen to the do you
and
think it
another
made?
thing is that,
Yeah,
yeah, personally, I think normally we here in our setup, we just tell this the medicines you have to follow.
yeah,
But most important things we miss. That is, we have to educate the parents regarding the compliance, regarding the triggers, regarding the warning signs, and most important is regular follow-up.
absolutely,
And that are
yeah,
the main things along with the medicines.
okay, yeah,
Long
like,
not
yeah,
we are not yeah,
which
not
we are not
used
doing.
to, yeah, in our practice, in our setup.
Yeah, because as you know, in the UK, like most of us have been going through this, that for things like asthma or diabetes or any chronic or epilepsy, there is usually a very clear written plan of action. That in
Yes,
diabetes or DK, if your child is going through this infection, then you increase the insulin or decrease the insulin or you give this medicine. Or if the child is having diarrhea, then you give the ORS and change the dose accordingly. And this is the person. Or if in asthma, if your child is having respiratory distress, then use this particular inhaler several more times, so many times more. It is very clearly, it is your job to write in don't just say, you have to write in the prescription that in this situation, this is one, two, three, four. These are the steps you will take, and you will contact the doctor. So I guess that's what you're saying. At least in small ways, you have to give very clear directions, isn't it? In difficult situations, what you will do, and about the compliance as well. So that's very. So it does. So in a way, what you're learning in MRC, which is not something only for top corporate hospitals or very fancy rich patients. It is very practicable for because ultimately in the UK also it is this applies to small district general hospitals, small villages in UK as well. Where we've worked ourselves, and there also they don't have very often very big investigations or very costly equipments and all that. And sometimes the tertiary level hospitals are very far, and they depend on us for basic good clinical skills. Even now, that's why I like the UK exam. It's unlike the UK system, USA system. It is where it's not about investigations. It is more about your basic, very good fundamental clinical skills, very good basic communication skills, empathy, and then good investigation management plan, and spending only as what is required step by step. I think which you are putting in practice. Am I right? Yeah.
yes.
Thank you. So just to finish off, because we are running longer than necessary. So what are the suppose someone, there are other doctors I should definitely know who will be watching your video, yeah, and who are like you have definitely come across a lot of inquiries from doctors who are at this stage of your career, who are already practicing, but they couldn't get their postgraduate degree. They still want the respect from the colleagues, and they feel that they could do better. They are getting a bit stagnant, as you said. A lot of people get stagnant in their job, seeing the same patient every day. Their knowledge not increasing. So, what would your advice be for those people, or maybe advice to your younger self, when you maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when you were not sure whether to go for this, whether it is achievable? So, suppose you were telling to your younger self or those people who are in the same situation, what would you be at least three pieces of advice you would like to say to them?
Just I'll say, be confident, be confident in your abilities. You will definitely achieve your goals, and nothing is impossible. Mm. Because when I started my journey, I just thought it was never ever possible for me to achieve my goals. But definitely, I will tell Dr. Academia helped me a lot.
Thank you.
Without Academia's guidance and support, it was not possible for me to achieve the goals. They helped me how to approach every stations, uh, and helped me to get accustomed with the new exam systems, supplied me lots of study materials in every possible ways. And more important is just helped me to boost up my self-confidence.
Absolutely.
So I'm really grateful to Dr. Academia.
What was
So without
your main
your
challenge?
support, like,
Uh, Thanks for that. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please complete. Please complete. I interrupted your last sentence.
it is
Yeah.
just
Okay.
without your support,
That's okay. So just one last thing. What was it like you said? No, like you, many people have different challenges. Was your challenge mainly lack of time, or in particular for the clinicals, what did you feel was your main challenge which you were struggling?
clinicals actually, the examiners are least bothered about the examination technique and even the general survey and
Okay.
even the system examinations. Just you have to pick up the finding. Just
Okay.
in one station, I could not pick up the finding. That was the hemiplegic gait. I wrongly diagnosed as a myopathic gait. And just examiner told me how could I proceed further. If you could not pick up the finding, how would I give you the marks?
Okay.
So they're just not bothered about the running commentary, about the general survey, about the examination techniques, nothing. You have to quickly pick up the finding,
Right.
and that's all. Because
Okay.
time is very short.
Yeah. So any other thing, right? Like now I'm coming to the day of the exam as well, which you have already started saying, because that is the challenging date. So when you actually now you've come out of it, just give us three more points, of advice which you notice on that, your challenges you face, where you got some table, you got very confused, or something you learned that, yeah, this is now I should approach it. What was that's on that day, a few things if you want to
Yeah,
share. Some tables
actually,
which were difficult for you,
yeah,
challenging for you. Yeah. So just share with
yeah.
everyone.
I like to share one experience that is in one communication station. I just finished up my session 30 seconds before the scheduled time. Just I summed up my conversation, and the role player was happy with my planning. Everything was fine, but I finished my session 30 seconds before the scheduled time. So I just remained seated there, and until the examiner told me to come out from the examination rooms. So I just like to mention, I like to highlight that if this type of incident happens, just don't get tensed. Just be seated until examination instructions.
Yeah.
If you restart the conversation, I think you will be marked down. Just
Okay.
better to just get seated and just wait for the examination instruction.
Yeah. I think to be honest, most people don't finish earlier. Usually most people delay, isn't it? They lose time and everything. It's very rare that you finish earlier. But
And I
yeah,
got 6 out of 8 in that station.
okay. So even though you finish
That
earlier.
practical. Yeah,
Yeah. So you did was it communication? Which one was it?
yeah,
Which
yeah, yeah. That was communication station.
communications. So it means that within that period of time, you have managed to find out the main concerns,
Yeah,
you were able to address your concerns, and you
yes,
were able to summarize it. So as long as you've done those things within time, then you're okay,
yes.
isn't it? So time is was the main. Any other thing on that particular day, small incident
Another
and
thing,
different
just
challenge,
highlight. Yeah,
like
yeah. Just another thing I like to say, just one clinical stations went very bad. I just told that I wrongly diagnosed that was a hemiplegic gait. I wrongly diagnosed as myopathic gait. Just came out from the examination room. I got really frustrated and depressed. But immediately I motivated myself and for the remaining two stations, and I did extremely well for the remaining two stations. I got 8 out of 18
Ah,
best clinical stations
well
and 12
done.
out of development stations.
12 out of 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So I
good.
like to say, so if you find that any station is just not going good or very bad, just don't get depressed. Don't think about the previous station. Just motivated yourselves for the remaining stations, because just one station bad doesn't mean the end of everything.
Excellent. That was very good. So thanks a lot. That was so helpful. So I won't stop you any longer because it's getting a bit late, and we will be in
Yeah.
touch. And thank you for for making your time and coming here. And thanks so much. What can I say? Best of luck to you, and I'm sure we will be in touch. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, I'll just end this thing. I'll just stop the recording now.